the last time I saw Trey Lance. Jesse Naylor mentioned it last week, and I lied. I told Jesse, and he told people, and I was like, nah, man, don't say anything. But now that Trey Lance is gone, I'm going to tell the story. So last week, after the Niners won their preseason game because Trey Lance led those drives, and it was a big moment for Trey. It was a cathartic moment where he was vindicated. I'm not as bad as you think I am. And yet, I think he knew that he was on the way out. If you go back and watch first of all, they don't bring him to the podium, right? That's bad. Purdy and Darnold at the podium today. No podium for Trey last week. He talks at his locker. And if you watch the video, the PR director is like right breathing down his neck like this. And like, what are you afraid of? So anyway, they cut that stuff off after like 4 minutes. I walk to the side, not thinking of, just walking away. Trey Lance walks by me. I don't know Trey Lance. I've said hello to him 3 or 4 times, but he hasn't played. Like, I don't know him personally. He walks by me without looking at me, without stopping. He says, I appreciate you, Grant. And he walks out. And that's the last time I will ever see or speak to Trey Lance. And at the time, it felt like a victorious moment for him. Like, I'm back. That's how I interpreted it. I'm back. I made my point. I'm back in the saddle. Thanks for believing in me, Grant, and not going with the company line. But that's not what happened. He was done with the Niners, and I think he knew it, and I think they knew it. I think that's why the PR director was breathing down his neck at his locker like, let's wrap this up before Trey says something that we're not prepared for him to say. He knew he was out despite his best efforts, and he walked by me and said thank you because he knew he was never going to see me again. And he appreciated, I think, that I stuck up for him when a lot of people in the media didn't. And all I want to say is it felt like prison. He couldn't stop. He couldn't make eye contact. You ever watch Oz? It was like he was passing me the shank without making, you know what I mean? It was like, let's have a really brief interaction without anyone noticing. Because even though he was on the way out, he knows I'm persona non grata around there, and he knows I'm on the team's ass, and he doesn't want to look like he's aligning with an adversary of the organization. But at the same time, for a young man to say something like that, can you imagine how lonely he must feel? He thanked me. Me? What about his teammates? What about his coaches? Me? I'm his ally. I don't even know him. But I do feel like I had his back, and I do feel like I understand how much of a raw deal he got. And I'm not saying he should be the starting quarterback for this team, but I don't feel like he got a fair opportunity at any point. And I don't think he felt like that either. And my heart broke a little bit for the guy. For him to feel like, to say that. But he can't stop. He can't shake my hand. He can't look me in the eye. He has to mumble it as he walks by because God forbid anyone noticed. What a lonely, alienated young man. He must have hated his experience here. He must be so fucking happy to be part of the Dallas Cowboys. I wish him all the best. I really hope the Niners never put another player in that position ever again. It's fucked up. Can you imagine the emotional anguish that young man has been through the last 2 years? He didn't deserve that. The Niners took full responsibility for it, though. And they keep saying, hey, don't write off Trey Lance yet. He could be... You fucking wrote him off. You fucking kept Sam Darnold over him. And you're saying, hey, the book on him isn't written. You fucking closed the book on Sam Darnold. Excuse me, on Trey Lance. You closed the book. And you did it weeks ago. And he knew it. Anyway, I appreciate Trey. And I hope the Cowboys do right by him. But part of me feels like the Niners already did the damage. It's going to be very hard for Trey to overcome all of this inactivity. But we'll see what happens. He's still young. But, hey, Trey, I'm pulling for you, man. Good luck. Frank Tom Ocean says, Cool Lynch knew you by name. He watches you. John Lynch and I know each other very well. I don't always agree with the things he does as a Niners GM, but I have a ton of respect for him as a person. I really like John Lynch. I know John Lynch. I appreciate him. I don't know Kyle Shanahan. I don't like Kyle Shanahan. I don't dislike Kyle Shanahan, but I don't know him. He hasn't made an effort to get to know me. John has. Every time I see John, he says, "Grant, how are you?" Shakes my hand. I appreciate that. Doesn't mean he's a good GM. I'm not saying he's a bad GM, but I like him. Jimmy Kwan says Sam knew he was QB2 when he signed. He dinked and dunked in practice and tried limiting, showing his true colors. Practice was a Shannon scam. Good luck, 5. I try to tell you. Marco Bravo says this is the beginning of the end for Kyle if Jed ever grows a pair. It's a little late for that. Ramon says this means when Brock gets hurt, Darnold is inside. Joseph, nickel 9, says Dave and Larry and Dave popping bottles. I don't know. 29 says thank you, Grant, and he said sorry to Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. Did he? Yeah, right. I'm so sorry, Coach. I wish I could have played better for you, man. I let you down, Coach. I'm so sorry. I'll do better for you next. I don't think it, man. I think he said, get me the fuck out of here. At least I hope he did. Mr. Lone Wolf, did you notice how Darnold didn't commit to when he knew he was QB2 suspect? Man, do you understand a word Sam Darnold says? They ask him a question and he's just like, yeah. That's what he looks like in the pocket. That's what he looks like in press conferences. He's not bad. He's just not good. Yeah. That's my Sam Darnold impression. Bay Area elitism at its finest. Socioeconomic lines, glass ceilings, confirmation bias happens in not just the locker rooms out here. It's the most progressive area in the world. The Bay Area. With the most progressive team in the world. They get comp picks for African-American coaches. They're so progressive. But they totally fucked over Trey. But it's okay. Because they believe in Trey. They're not writing the book. They're not closing the book on Trey yet. Eric Chapman, where is Bosa? Niners could make the Trey story disappear with his extension. Not here. Lynch says he's confident he'll sign by week 1, though, which is nice. Trey needs to fire his agent, says Alex. His agent just got him to fucking Dallas, man. Give him a raise. The Cowboys are celebrating their assless chaps today, says Jamila. JB says Jed needs to tell Kyle and John we don't raise division championship banners. We don't raise NFC championship banners. We raise Super Bowl banners. He said that to Harbaugh. That didn't go so well.